My beloved child. Tomorrow is not an ordinary page in the calendar, and I need you to listen with your whole heart, because what is about to unfold around your daughter is something most people experience only once in their lifetime. This is not fear speaking, this is awareness speaking. Tonight, while the world sleeps and routine pretends to be permanent, a quiet alignment is taking place. Small signs you ignored before will suddenly connect, like scattered stars forming a clear shape. You may think tomorrow will start like any other day, but there will be a moment, subtle yet undeniable, when you feel time slow down for a breath. That moment is not accidental. It has been waiting for you, and for her. The reason I speak now is because readiness changes everything. Those who are ready recognize meaning when it appears. Those who are not ready call it coincidence and move on. Listen carefully, because this is where the truth becomes heavier. Your daughter carries something within her that has been silent, patient, and unseen, even by you. It is not a burden, it is a signal. Tomorrow, a situation will bring that signal to the surface. It may arrive disguised as a simple interaction, a casual sentence, or an unexpected pause in her expression. Others may miss it completely, but you must not. This moment will reveal how deeply you understand her beyond routines and roles. What happens tomorrow will not be loud, yet it will be powerful enough to shift the direction of her confidence. A single response from you will either strengthen her inner foundation or leave a question echoing inside her for years. This is why preparation matters more than reaction. There is something else you deserve to know, and it has remained unspoken until now. Tomorrow connects to a promise made long before you realized it was made. A promise tied to protection, growth, and timing. You may notice that people behave differently around her, as if drawn by something they cannot explain. This is not imagination. It is recognition. When this recognition surfaces, it often tests the one standing closest. You. The test is not about control or instruction. It is about presence. About choosing calm when surprise appears. About choosing trust when uncertainty tries to speak first. What unfolds will not harm her, but it will define how she sees herself through your eyes. Pay attention to how the morning feels, because the tone of the day will be set before words are exchanged. Your daughter may ask a question she has never asked before, or she may stay silent when she usually speaks freely. Both are signals. Tomorrow asks you to observe more than you instruct, to listen more than you explain. The shift taking place is internal first, external second. Many parents miss this moment because they expect drama, while real transformation often arrives quietly. If you stay aware, you will notice that the ordinary suddenly feels meaningful. That is the doorway. Step through it gently. Do not rush. Do not dismiss. Be fully there. This is where everything comes together, and why this message could not wait. Tomorrow is not about something happening to your daughter. It is about something awakening around her. Your readiness will turn that awakening into strength rather than confusion. Remember this clearly. You are not being asked to change who you are. You are being asked to remember why you were chosen for this role. When the moment arrives, and it will, let your response be steady, warm, and grounded. Because years from now, when she looks back at the day she began to see herself differently, your presence will be the detail that matters most. Before the sun fully rises, there will be a quiet pause in the air, a pause most people never notice, but tomorrow it will feel different to you. Something in your awareness will sharpen, as if your instinct steps slightly ahead of time. This is not anxiety. This is recognition. Your daughter will move through her morning carrying a thought she has not yet given a name to, and that unnamed thought will be heavier than any words she could speak. Watch her eyes more than her actions. They will reveal anticipation mixed with uncertainty, a rare combination that appears only when growth is near. Tomorrow does not demand urgency from you, it demands clarity. The smallest shift in your tone, the smallest choice to slow down instead of rushing forward, will create a space where she feels safe enough to become more than she was yesterday. There is a reason this moment is arriving now and not later. Timing is never random, especially when it comes to children and the silent lessons they carry. Your daughter is standing at the edge of understanding something important about herself, something she has sensed but never confirmed. Tomorrow will bring a mirror, not made of glass, but of experience. She will see a reflection shaped by how the world responds to her presence. Some reactions will surprise you. Some will surprise her even more. The danger is not in what happens, but in how easily meaning can be misunderstood if guidance is absent. You are not meant to direct her path step by step. You are meant to stand close enough that she knows she is not alone while discovering it. As the day unfolds, there will be a moment that feels ordinary on the surface yet carries unusual weight beneath it. It may arrive through a conversation, a pause in routine, or a sudden change in atmosphere that you cannot logically explain. This is where most people look away, distracted by schedules and habits. You must stay present. Tomorrow is asking you to witness rather than fix, to acknowledge rather than interrupt. Your daughter may test your reaction without realizing she is doing so. Not out of defiance, but out of curiosity. She wants to know if her inner voice is real or imagined. Your calm acknowledgement will tell her that it is real, that it deserves respect, and that she can trust it. Understand this clearly, because it matters more than it seems. What happens tomorrow is not about success or failure, praise or correction. It is about alignment. Your daughter is aligning with a deeper sense of who she is becoming. When alignment happens, it often feels uncomfortable before it feels empowering. She may hesitate. She may retreat briefly. Do not mistake this for weakness. This is integration. This is her inner world reorganizing itself. The role you play in this process will echo far beyond tomorrow. A single supportive response can become a lifelong source of strength. A single moment of dismissal can become a quiet doubt she carries forward. Choose presence. Choose patience. When the day begins to settle and silence returns, you may realize that something has shifted, even if you cannot point to a single dramatic event. That is how real change works. It arrives softly and leaves deeply. Tomorrow will not end with clear answers, but it will plant a certainty inside your daughter that she is seen, understood, and supported. This is the preparation you were called to make. Not to control what happens, but to anchor it with steadiness and trust. Remember this as the day closes. You were not warned because something bad was coming. You were prepared because something meaningful was ready to begin. There is a quiet shift that happens when awareness deepens, and tomorrow that shift will move through you before it reaches her. You may feel an unusual calm mixed with alertness, as if your mind knows to stay open without being tense. This state matters more than any plan. Your daughter will sense it instantly. Children read emotional space more clearly than spoken language. As she steps into the day, she will look for confirmation without asking for it. Confirmation that she is allowed to feel what she feels. Confirmation that curiosity is not something to hide. Tomorrow gives you the chance to offer that confirmation without speeches or explanations. Just by being steady, just by being present, you tell her more than words ever could. As hours pass, something subtle will begin to rearrange how she perceives herself. It may start as a realization she cannot yet explain, a feeling that she is capable of more than she previously believed. This is not pride. This is self-recognition. When children experience this, they often hesitate, because growth feels unfamiliar at first. She might pause longer before responding. She might observe more than she speaks. These are signs of internal organization, not confusion. Tomorrow is shaping her inner narrative, the quiet story she will carry forward about who she is and how the world responds to her. You are part of that story whether you intend to be or not. Pay attention to moments when nothing seems to be happening. Those are the moments that matter most. In the stillness between activities, in the silence after a sentence, meaning gathers. Your daughter may glance toward you during these pauses, not to seek permission, but to measure safety. Safety to be herself without explanation. If you meet that glance with calm understanding, you reinforce something powerful. You tell her that she does not need to perform to be accepted. That she can exist fully as she is. Tomorrow is less about action and more about emotional truth. Truth felt, not declared. There is a reason this experience feels significant even without dramatic events. Transformational moments rarely announce themselves loudly. They integrate quietly, then reveal their impact over time. Tomorrow is laying a foundation. Not for achievement, but for self-trust. When a child learns to trust her inner responses, she becomes resilient in ways no instruction can teach. Your role is not to shape the outcome, but to protect the environment in which that trust forms. This requires restraint as much as involvement. Knowing when to speak. Knowing when silence is the greater support. By the end of the day, you may sense a gentle shift in how she carries herself. Perhaps a new steadiness. Perhaps a thoughtful calm. Do not rush to define it. Let it exist without labels. Tomorrow is not a conclusion. It is an opening. An opening that invites patience rather than analysis. Remember this clearly. What you witness now is the beginning of her deeper confidence, and your quiet readiness is what allows it to take root naturally, without pressure, without fear, and without interruption. Something important often reveals itself when the day is already in motion, when expectations relax and attention softens. Tomorrow will carry such a moment. It will not announce itself, and it will not demand immediate understanding. Instead, it will feel like a gentle interruption, a brief sense that something meaningful just passed through the space you share with your daughter. This is where many people miss the signal. They explain it away, they hurry past it, or they distract themselves with noise. You must do none of that. Stay with the feeling. Let it settle. Your daughter will sense whether you noticed or not, and that awareness will shape how deeply she trusts the moment herself. There will be a point when she seems slightly different from the child you have known until now. Not distant. Not unfamiliar. Just subtly expanded. This can feel unsettling for parents, because growth reminds us that nothing stays fixed. Tomorrow invites you to accept that expansion without trying to contain it. Your daughter does not need reassurance through control. She needs reassurance through acceptance. When you allow her to explore this new internal space without interruption, you give her permission to grow without fear. That permission becomes a silent strength she will return to again and again. Listen closely to what is not said. Tomorrow's meaning lives between words, not inside them. A pause before she answers. A thoughtful expression when she believes no one is watching. These are not small details. They are indicators of internal alignment. Your response to these moments should be grounded and unhurried. A calm presence communicates safety more effectively than any explanation. This is how trust deepens. Not through advice, but through shared stillness that allows understanding to form naturally. As the day moves forward, you may feel the urge to define what is happening, to categorize it, to make sense of it immediately. Resist that urge. Some experiences require space before they reveal their full shape. Tomorrow is one of them. Your daughter is integrating something new, something personal, something that does not yet need a name. By allowing that process to unfold without pressure, you protect its authenticity. You show her that growth does not have to be rushed to be real. When evening approaches, the atmosphere will feel quieter, heavier with reflection rather than exhaustion. This is when the impact of the day settles in. You may notice a deeper calm in her presence, or a thoughtful silence that feels complete rather than empty. This is not the end of the experience. It is the confirmation that something important has taken root. Remember this moment. Tomorrow was never about a single event. It was about creating the conditions for your daughter to step closer to who she is becoming, with you standing steady beside her. As night approaches, reflection becomes unavoidable, and tomorrow's meaning will begin to settle more clearly in your awareness. You may replay small moments in your mind, not because they were dramatic, but because they felt unusually precise. Precision is a sign of significance. Your daughter will likely move with a calmer rhythm, as if something inside her has found a quieter balance. This is not coincidence. This is integration. What she experienced during the day is finding its place within her understanding, and the way you remained present allowed that process to complete itself without resistance. There will be a moment when she looks at you differently, even if she says nothing at all. That look will not be seeking approval. It will be acknowledging connection. A recognition that you noticed her, truly noticed her, without trying to reshape her experience. This recognition builds a bridge stronger than reassurance ever could. It tells her that she can grow without losing closeness. That becoming more does not mean becoming distant. Tomorrow plants this realization gently, but its effect will be long-lasting. You may feel a quiet pride mixed with humility as the day comes to rest. Not pride in achievement, but pride in understanding. Humility in realizing that growth cannot be controlled, only supported. This balance is rare, and it matters deeply. Your daughter will carry the memory of how safe she felt while changing, even if she never names that memory directly. Safety during growth becomes courage later. Courage becomes clarity. Clarity becomes direction. Tomorrow is a small but essential step in that chain. Do not expect immediate expression of what shifted. Some changes speak through silence first. Your daughter may sleep more peacefully, or she may appear thoughtful in a way that feels complete rather than restless. This is how internal alignment looks from the outside. Respect it. Allow it. Let the day end without interrogation or analysis. Trust that what needed to happen has already happened, exactly as it was meant to. When tomorrow becomes yesterday, its true value will continue unfolding quietly. Weeks from now, you may notice her responding differently to challenges, trusting herself more readily, pausing with confidence instead of doubt. That is when you will understand what this day truly offered. Not a single moment to fear, but a rare opportunity to witness growth in its most authentic form. You were ready. That readiness is what transformed tomorrow into a foundation rather than just another passing day. When the following morning arrives, you may realize that yesterday did not end, it simply changed form. Some moments continue beyond the clock, and this is one of them. Your daughter will carry the afterglow of what unfolded, not as excitement, but as quiet certainty. Certainty is powerful because it does not seek validation. It settles into posture, into tone, into the way she approaches small decisions. You might notice it when she chooses calmly instead of hesitating, when she trusts her instinct without looking around for confirmation. These are the echoes of a day that mattered. What makes this continuation so rare is that it did not come from instruction or pressure. It came from allowance. From space. From your willingness to be present without directing every outcome. This is how real confidence forms. It grows in environments where understanding replaces urgency. Your daughter is learning that her inner responses have value, that they can guide her safely when supported by steadiness. This lesson will quietly influence how she handles future challenges, even ones far removed from this moment. Yesterday became a reference point she will return to without realizing it. You may find yourself changing as well. Awareness often moves in both directions. By witnessing her growth without interrupting it, you strengthened your own trust. Trust in her. Trust in timing. Trust in the idea that not every important moment needs to be explained to be effective. This shift within you matters more than it seems. Children feel these changes instantly. When you become calmer, more grounded, more observant, you create a foundation that allows growth to continue naturally, without force. There will be times ahead when uncertainty appears again, because growth is never a straight line. Remember this experience when that happens. Remember how quiet readiness achieved more than control ever could. The strength you saw forming in your daughter did not come from protection alone, but from belief. Belief that she could step forward without losing her balance. That belief will remain with her, becoming part of how she sees herself in moments of challenge. This is the lasting meaning of what began tomorrow and continues now. Nothing dramatic needed to happen for everything to change. The shift was internal, steady, and real. Your role was not to create the moment, but to recognize it and hold space for it. That is a rare skill. One that will continue shaping your daughter's journey long after this day fades from memory, leaving behind something far more valuable than a story. A quiet, unshakable sense of self. Long after words lose their urgency, meaning continues to travel quietly, and this is where tomorrow's impact becomes unmistakable. You may notice that your daughter begins to approach ordinary moments with a new steadiness, as if something inside her has learned how to stand without leaning. This change will not announce itself through behavior alone. It will appear in how she listens, how she pauses before responding, how she trusts silence instead of filling it. These are not small shifts. They are signs that an inner compass has been activated, one that guides without noise or force. There will be a moment ahead when she faces uncertainty again, perhaps sooner than you expect. When that moment arrives, you may recall this day without fully realizing why. That is because the strength forming now does not fade quickly. It layers itself into her awareness. She will remember, not the details, but the feeling of being supported without being restrained. That feeling becomes a reference point. It tells her that uncertainty does not equal danger, and that growth does not require fear. This realization is rare, and it stays. You might also recognize a subtle change in how she relates to you. Not distance, but depth. Conversations may become fewer yet more meaningful. Trust matures when it is not rushed. She will sense that she can bring her evolving thoughts to you without needing to filter them first. This openness is built slowly, and moments like the one you were prepared for are what make it possible. Your steadiness taught her that understanding can exist without immediate answers. As time passes, you may see others respond differently to her presence. Confidence attracts recognition, often without intention. Do not be surprised if she navigates these responses with more balance than before. The foundation you helped create allows her to remain centered while engaging with the world. She will not need to prove herself. She will simply be herself, and that authenticity will speak clearly enough. This is how inner alignment expresses itself externally. What began as preparation has now become continuity. The day you were asked to be ready did not conclude a chapter, it opened a pathway. A pathway shaped by awareness, trust, and quiet strength. Your daughter is walking it at her own pace, and you remain beside her, not as a guide pulling forward, but as a presence that steadies the ground. This is the true outcome. Not something that happened to her, but something that awakened within her, and continues to grow. What comes next will not arrive as a surprise, but as a recognition that something enduring has settled into place. You may notice it during an ordinary moment, when nothing important is supposed to happen, yet everything feels quietly aligned. Your daughter will move through that moment with a sense of ease that did not exist before. Ease is not carelessness. It is confidence without noise. This is how you know the shift was real. It did not depend on circumstance. It became part of her. Over time, she will begin to trust her own rhythm more deeply. She will not rush to keep up with others, nor will she hold herself back to remain unseen. Balance will guide her choices. This balance was not taught. It was absorbed. Absorbed from an environment where she was allowed to experience change without pressure. That environment was created by your readiness, by your ability to stay present when it mattered most. Few realize how powerful that kind of presence truly is. There will be days ahead when she surprises even herself. Not through bold declarations, but through quiet decisions that reflect inner clarity. You may observe her choosing thoughtfully, responding calmly, or stepping forward when she once hesitated. These moments will seem small to others, but you will recognize their origin. They trace back to the day when awareness replaced expectation, and trust replaced control. This is how growth sustains itself. You may also find that your own perception has changed. Once you witness growth unfold naturally, it becomes impossible to unsee its pattern. You will listen more carefully. You will intervene less urgently. You will trust timing more than explanation. This transformation within you reinforces the one within her. It creates a cycle of mutual understanding that strengthens with time rather than weakening under it. This is where the story settles, not with an ending, but with continuity. Nothing dramatic needed to define it. Nothing loud needed to prove it. What mattered was readiness, presence, and the courage to allow meaning to unfold quietly. Your daughter carries that meaning forward now, integrated and steady. And you carry the knowing that when the moment came, you were there, fully aware, fully prepared, and exactly what the moment required.